Good morning, everyone. It is 9:30, and we'll call the regular meeting of the Millcreek Township Board of Supervisors, February 9th, 2021 meeting to order. Would you please rise for the pledge of the flag?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Morgan will be joining us via telephone for this meeting. Morning, John.
Good morning, Mr. Ouellette. I apologize, just to clarify for anyone in the audience, I apologize I can't be there today. I am home due to our township COVID protocols. I am fine, but there was a possible exposure, so I'll be out of the office until this Thursday. So thank you guys for accommodating me to meet our protocols. Thank you.
Thanks, John. This meeting is being televised live online via GoLive via youtube.com at www.millcreektownship/meetings and recorded by WQLN for viewing on Spectrum Channel 1024 and youtube.com with closed captioning. Members of the public may attend in person in the General Assembly Room. However, total occupancy is limited to 25 persons and masks are required. Persons who wish to offer testimony at any hearing or to offer comments during the public comment portion of the meeting, but who do not wish to attend in person, must contact the Township Secretary, Cheryl Williams, at 814-833-1111 or swilliams@millcreektownship.com no later than 24 hours before the scheduled meeting to make arrangements to participate via telephone. Okay, is there any public comment on agenda items other than development or rezoning applications? Okay, we'll move on to approval of the minutes from the January 26, 2021 meeting. Any comments about the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
Okay, we have a motion.
I will second, Chairman.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to approval of the bills. Any comments about the bills?
I think we should pay them. I'll make a motion to that effect.
Okay.
I will second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, moving on to bids and quotations. The first item on the agenda is an aluminum brake and attachment, Public Works, Building Maintenance Department. Mr. Snyder.
Good morning, gentlemen. Building Maintenance is seeking permission to purchase an aluminum brake for the department. This would be used for wrapping door frames, windows frames, and sills in aluminum to extend the life of these various items. Quotes were received from Presta Contractor Supply, $2,443.11. ABC Supply, $2,045. And Modern Builder Supply, $1,993.67. This is a line item in the capital budget. $3,000 was budgeted. The cost was $1,993.67, leaving $1,006.33 in reserves. It would be my recommendation to purchase the aluminum brake from Modern Builder Supply for the cost of $1,993.67.
Okay, is there any questions from the board for Mr. Snyder about this item? Do we have a motion for approval?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to the second item, a condensing unit for Public Works, Building Maintenance Department. Mr. Snyder.
Yes, Building Maintenance is seeking permission to replace the AHU-1 rooftop condensing unit from Johnson Controls for the CoStar's price of $49,605 under contract number This unit is over 20 years old and is in need of replacement. This is also the last of our large heating and cooling units to be replaced. This is a line item in building maintenance's capital budget. $75,000 was budgeted. The cost of the unit was $49,605, leaving $25,395 in reserves. It would be my recommendation to purchase the rooftop unit from Johnson Control for the CoStar's price of $49,605.
Okay, any questions from the board? Okay, is there a motion for approval?
I'll make that motion for approval.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, Millcreek Golf and Learning Center roof replacement, the labor portion of that project. Public Works, Building Maintenance. Mr. Snyder?
Once again, building maintenance asked for quotes for the labor to install a new roof on the Millcreek Golf Course Clubhouse. We received 3 quotes from the following people: Janko Construction Incorporated, $16,075; Matt Kroll Construction LLC, $23,750; and Aaron's Roofing, $12,810. This is a capital line item in building maintenance's budget. $25,000 was budgeted. The cost was $12,810, leaving $12,190 in reserves. It would be my recommendation to have Aaron Roofing install the new roof on the clubhouse at the cost of $12,810.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Any questions from the board?
I have one question, Dan. Gary, was this a project? I just can't recall. Was this a specific project in the capital budget, or is this being drawn down from a $25,000 kind of general line in building maintenance?
No, it was a capital line item.
Okay, thanks. That's good recall. Thank you.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve, Dan.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. The next item is Millcreek Golf and Learning Center roof replacement, the materials portion. Mr. Snyder?
Yes, building maintenance sought quotes for materials to install the new roof at the Millcreek Golf Course clubhouse. We received 3 quotes from the following companies: Presta Contractor Supply, $8,773.05; B&L Wholesale Supply, $8,279.15; and ABC Supply Company, $7,680.21. This is a capital line item. We have $12,190 in reserves in this account, minus the $7,680.21 for the materials, which leaves us a $4,509.79 in reserves. It would be my recommendation to purchase the materials for the golf course clubhouse from ABC Supply for $7,680.21.
Thank you, Gary. Any questions from the board? Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make that motion for approval.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to the next item, the Lancaster Pump Station Valves, Public Works Sewer Revenue. Mr. Snyder.
Yes, sewer revenue is seeking permission to purchase 2 gate valves and 2 check valves for replacement at the Lancaster Pump Station. The existing valves are wore out and cannot be repaired. We would like to purchase these items from LB Water for the CoStar's price of $4,058.70 under CoStar's contract number 016026. The cost of these items would be out of the sewer revenue project of the Lancaster Pump Station upgrade. Budget was $40,000. The cost was $4,085.70. leaving $35,914.30 balance in the Lancaster upgrade project. It would be my recommendation to purchase the valve and check valves from LB Water for the CoStar's price of $4,058.70.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the board regarding the valves? Okay, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve this purchase.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, moving on to the next item, the wintergreen pump station valves, Public Works sewer revenue. Mr. Snyder.
Sewer Department is seeking permission to purchase again 2 gate valves and 2 check valves for replacement at the wintergreen pump station. The existing valves are in the same condition as the previous ones that are wore out and cannot be repaired. We would like to purchase these items from LB Water for the cost of $4,058.70 under the CoStar's contract number 016026. The cost of these items would come out of the sewer revenue capital budget line item unanticipated / contingency. The budgeted amount was $120,000. Cost of the valves is $4,085.70, leaving $115,914.30 balance in the unanticipated line. It would be my recommendation to purchase the valves and check valves from LB Water for the CoStar's price of $4,058.70.
Any questions from the board on these valves for wintergreen pump station? Okay, is there a motion for approval?
I'll make that motion for approval.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Bach?
I vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. Moving on to the next item under bids and quotations would be the computer and Windows license upgrade for the Millcreek Police Department IT division. Mr. Bach.
Yes, we have a request from Chris Filson from MPD IT department. This is a budgeted item. He's seeking approval for $10,000 out of the approved budget for a Windows 10 upgrade for 15 desktop computers and associated licenses. I believe this is through Velocity Net. It's an upgrade that's needed internally here within the police department for their computers. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
Okay, we have a motion for approval.
Mr. Chairman, I have a quick question. I don't know if Mr. Zachewski is in the room. I'm a little confused to the Windows 10s. We all moved to this Microsoft 365. Is this related? Is this not related to that?
That would not be related. Specifically, Windows 365 will operate on prior operating systems. This is because whatever operating system that they are currently running on is no longer supported by Microsoft, given the fact that Windows 10 is the latest version of the operating system.
I'm very sorry. I couldn't hear Mark, guys. I'm sorry.
This is unrelated to the Office 365 specifically. 365 will run on other operating systems, but the old operating system that they're currently on is no longer supported. Probably mostly of them are XPs, and support for that is terminated or is being terminated. And so therefore things like virus software and whatnot won't run on these older machines. And obviously it's a good idea to keep your virus software up to date.
Okay.
Okay, is there a second to that motion for approval? Okay, I'll second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
Well, guys, I mean, I don't want to cause grief here by voting no, but I would like to have a meeting with Chris to figure out the details of this thing. I know we had a meeting scheduled with him and John previously or they were supposed to schedule a follow-up meeting with us and they didn't. So, I mean, I'll vote yes, but I would definitely like to, Jim, if you want to touch base with Chris and Chief and let them know, I'd like a little explanation on this. I'd appreciate it.
Okay.
We can set that up.
All right, and I'll vote yes. Okay, item 7 on the agenda is Resolution 2021 R9, a resolution pursuant to Resolution 2015 R20 in the Municipal Records Manual to approve proposed disposition of certain township records. This is MPD dash cam video that will be from February 10th, 2021 and February 23rd of 2021. Due to reaching the end of their required retention period. Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2021 R9.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, Resolution 2021 R10, a resolution by the Millcreek Township Supervisors of Millcreek Township, Erie County, Pennsylvania, establishing the Millcreek Township tax collector's compensation for the years 2022, 2023, 2024, and 2025. Mr. Shaw.
Yes, this is a resolution that is required every 4 years prior to the time period when the prospective persons running for tax collector would file their intent to run. So every 4 years, the Board of Supervisors makes a determination as to what the salary would be. And in this case, the resolution proposes that the salaries for each year be set at $29,509.00, which would be that number for both, for all 2022, the same amount for 2023, the same amount for 2024, and the same amount for 2025.
Okay. So that figure matches the previous 4 years, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay. Any comment from the board regarding this resolution?
Is there any recommendation from the treasurer?
Well, in light of the fact that the school district did not vote for an increase, it would seem prudent that we do not vote for an increase as well, especially given the fact that we take the smallest portion of the revenue collected by the tax collector. So they're holding theirs, I think, somewhere around $36,000, and there's still a county portion, which they actually pay the biggest piece out of anybody, and they get like the second biggest piece of the revenue collected. So it makes sense that we, being the smallest portion of the pie, follow suit with the largest portion of the revenues collected.
I know there, in other instances, when we are in tandem, I guess you'd say, with the school district with regards to tax assessment, fees, etc. How is that normally distributed?
We generally try to distribute those, like legal fees, things like that, when we get an outside consultant to evaluate the property. Those fees are always distributed based on the ratable portion of the taxes to be collected.
Mr. Bach, if I may, that generally applies when, in those situations when experts are hired and so forth. We do retain our own counsel to assist in those matters, and typically we just pay the fees of our counsel, and the school district pays the fees of their counsel.
Okay. Thank you, Mark.
Gentlemen, I have to say that I don't agree with freezing the tax collector's rate for the next 4 years. That would be 8 years without any kind of an adjustment. I don't think that that's fair. I think what is fair would be a 2.5% increase over the next 4 years. I just that's not a lot of money for us to to make that adjustment for the tax collector, and moving forward, that's like I said before, that's a long time without any kind of an adjustment. That's my position. Okay, I'll ask for a motion from the board regarding this resolution.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
I vote yes.
And I vote no. Okay, moving on to Resolution 2021-R11, a resolution to authorize the chairman of the Millcreek Township Board of Supervisors to sign the PennDOT application on behalf of Millcreek Township for traffic signal approval at Peach and 54th Street in Erie, Pennsylvania. Mr. Waldinger?
Thank you. Good morning. Yes, this is for the traffic signal that currently exists at Peach Street and West 54th. Millcreek Community Hospital is building an off-campus parking lot at that corner there. Specifically, it's the southwest corner. And they are looking to make some improvements to the traffic signal as part of their land development plan. Those the proposal for their improvements were sent to PennDOT. PennDOT has approved what they are intending to do. It's mainly changing the timing of the signal, some additional striping of the crosswalks to make them a little more defined, some additional signage, and some overhead lighting. It's all going to be paid for by the developer, but because the signal exists and is a Millcreek Township signal that we maintain, PennDOT is requiring that we sign the application for the improvements. So at this time, I would recommend that the township pass the resolution which authorizes the chairman to sign the application so that it may be sent forward to PennDOT.
Matt, I have a
Mr.
question.
Chairman, I have a question.
No, go ahead, John.
Yeah, Matt, I guess here's my question: is LECOM was granted a variance to the zoning hearing board to construct this off-site parking lot, and at that time they committed to, I believe, at least verbally committed to paying for all these improvements that are necessary. Do we have any kind of a maintenance agreement with LECOM regarding maintaining these crosswalks or maintaining these whatever pedestrian lighting or infrastructure is going to be installed there? Has anything been put in writing with LECOM yet?
Not at the moment, John. We are currently working with LECOM to amend their developers agreement to cover these. It could not be added at the time of the signing of the agreements because everything was subject to PennDOT approval. But now that the plans have officially been approved by PennDOT, we can modify those agreements to include the items that you're talking about. That is, to my understanding, solely for the installation of these. I don't know if there has been anything done as far as ongoing maintenance. Obviously, as I mentioned, the signal, The stuff that's done inside the signal box as far as timing and things has to be controlled by the township and worked on by the township because it is our signal.
Well, then I guess the other question, Matt, is so that the cost of these improvements, is LECOM contracting out to get this work done, or are we doing it and LECOM is reimbursing us? How does that work?
No, LECOM, Millcreek Community Hospital is contracting to have the work done by professionals.
Is PennDOT going to allow them to do that?
Typically, I don't know for sure what contractor they've engaged, but I know there are specific specialty contractors that do the electrical and things for traffic lights, and it's my understanding that they're going to hire one of those. But again, PennDOT would definitely have to approve whatever contractor and whatever work's going to be done.
John, that was basically the same question I was going to ask Matt. Any further comment from the board on this resolution? Is there a motion for approval?
Well, gentlemen, I guess my next question is to Mr. Shaw. I mean, I am not comfortable signing anything that with the state that would attach us to this signal without some kind of written agreement with LECOM. I mean, what are we voting on this? That it's I'm going to sign this thing conditional on getting an agreement with LECOM, or are we just going to hope that they come through?
You certainly could make the execution of the resolution based upon or subject to obtaining the agreements of LECOM to amend their developers agreement to include recognizing their obligation to perform and complete the work that's described in the application. I know we've reached out to LECOM. I don't know if we've heard back from them at this point.
This is Matt. Yeah, we have generally gotten their indication that they're willing to do so. Just don't have the formal documents yet in order to do that exchange.
Alternatively, if you're not comfortable with that, we could just table it until the next meeting, when hopefully at that point we would also have the amendment to approve of the developers agreement.
But we do currently maintain this intersection, correct?
Yes.
Yes, Jim, but the issue here is LECOM wants to make some significant upgrades to it to accommodate their project. And I would rather have some written assurances that the cost of that project isn't going to fall on us, or that we at least have some understanding of the long-term maintenance of this thing, since it's a variance they requested of the zoning hearing board.
I think, John, this is Mark again. I think traditionally, that when the township has kind of gotten involved with improvements of intersections with traffic lights and so forth, I believe the agreement typically in place provides for them to contribute towards the work to be done to make the improvement. But I believe the ultimate maintenance and so forth, long-term maintenance, remains on the township because it's typically they've assumed that responsibility already with PennDOT. So I think the approach here would be to simply get the assurance from LECOM that they will install the project, cover the cost of that project, and do it in a manner that's acceptable and proper.
Okay, so can either move to approve this resolution or make a motion to table it for further clarification.
Gentlemen, I would prefer to table it. I mean, if you guys are comfortable with it, then that's fine. But I'll put forth a motion to table until our next meeting.
I'm good either way, so I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and second to table Resolution 2021 R11. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. Moving on to item 10 on the agenda is the Erie County Tobacco Agreement. Mr. Bach.
Thank you, Mr. Arlett. This is from Chief Scott Height from MPD. He's requesting approval for the authorization to enter into this year's agreement with the Erie County Department of Health as a subcontractor for the tobacco compliance program within Millcreek Township. MPD has participated in this endeavor as a partner with the Erie County Health Department for over 20 years. This is a contract, I believe, that was reviewed by Attorney Shaw.
Yes, it's consistent with our prior contract with the county.
Okay. And this, I believe the duration is from January 1st, 2021 until June 30th of 2021. And this is grant funded in the amount of $1,800. This is an agreement that we, as stated, we've entered into for a number of years for compliance checks with various retail establishments.
Okay.
So it's a good program. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. Item 11, Millcreek Manor Sewer Lateral Connection Agreement. Mr. Waldinger.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, this is an agreement with Millcreek Manor, this Millcreek Community Hospital, for their new building to install a new sewer lateral. It is the township's approved form for this, and it does require them to pay for and maintain the lateral, pay for the installation and maintenance of the lateral in perpetuity, and also to pay a tapping fee to the township for installation of the lateral itself.
Okay, any questions from the board regarding this agreement? Is there a motion for approval? I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second, Dan.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. Okay, financial security release request, item number 12, General Partitions Manufacturing Corp., General Partitions Developer. Mr. Waldinger.
Yes, thank you. General Partitions has requested a release of their letter of credit for improvements that they were required to do at their site on Peninsula Drive. They have completed those improvements satisfactorily. We have a reasonable conformity letter from Greenman Peterson Incorporated, our contracted third-party engineering firm, as well as a release of security certification from the township engineer. So at this time, I would recommend that the board release First National Bank of Pennsylvania letter of credit number 3635 in the amount of $10,000.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions from the board? Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make that motion.
And is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
I vote yes.
And I vote yes. The next financial security release request is from O'Reilly Auto Parts developer, Mr. Waldinger.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, this is a request from O'Reilly Auto Parts for the store that they constructed some time ago on West 26th Street. They have asked for final approval and release of their letter of credit. We do have a reasonable conformity letter from GPI stating that they completed everything required. We have a certification from the township engineer on their release of letter of credit. So at this time, I would recommend that the board release Wells Fargo letter of credit number IS00715655U in the amount of $81,778.
Thank you, Matt. Any questions from the board? Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion for approval.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
How about yes?
And I vote yes. Item 13 on the agenda is 2021 commission appointments. I don't believe that we had any additional to approve at this meeting.
Just a quick question for Ms. Williams. The ECOG alternative or alternate, do we need to?
Jim, I'm very sorry. It's kind of muffled.
John, I think there is one commission appointment we need to make today, the supervisors. It would be the second alternate for ECOG, which I think the recommendation was for you to serve as that second alternate. I think the person that that the board appointed, because of the nature of their position, is unable to serve in that position.
Did you get that, John?
Yeah, the COG appointment. You know, guys, I was looking, and the bylaws of the COG say that a treasurer or a secretary could also be appointed. So I don't know. I mean, if Mark C. and Cheryl want to rock, paper, scissors for it, or draw a short straw, I mean, they are welcome. I have the utmost confidence in either of those individuals to serve on the COG. Any takers? Cheryl, Mark C. Eh?
There were two heads shaking no, John.
But I will humbly accept the nomination.
Excellent. Is there a motion to approve Mr. Morgan as the second alternate to the ECOG?
I'll make that motion.
And I will second. Mr. Bach?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
I believe I should probably abstain, I think.
Okay, and I vote yes. All right. Congratulations,
Thanks,
Mr. Morgan. Thank you for serving.
Thank you, sir.
Moving on to communications, Treasurer Communications, Mr. Zakshevsky.
Nothing further at this time.
Very good, thank you. Moving on to MPD request, Westridge Fire Police request, Mr. Bach.
Thank you. We have a request from Chief Scott Height from MPD. He's seeking approval for the Westridge Fire Department Special Fire Police to provide traffic control in the Our Lady of Peace parking lot between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. on February 12th. Our Lady of Peace is hosting Erie Night to Shine 2021 Shine Through Parade in their parking lot. The event celebrates people with special needs and is sponsored by the Tim Tebow Foundation. Sounds like a very good cause. Up to 5 fire police officers requested. I'll make a motion for that approval.
Okay, we have a motion for approval.
I'll second.
Mr. Bach, how do you vote?
Vote yes.
Mr. Morgan?
And I vote yes.
And I vote yes. Okay. We held executive sessions on January 28th and February 4th. of 2021 to discuss various items. Solicitor communications, Mr. Shaw.
The only thing I have is, we received from DCED their approval of the loan request approval for the $380,000 loan that the board approved with FNB. So that will now proceed to closing, and I can't recall what project that was. Mark, what was that?
That was for the grinder for Millfair,
Okay. Is that
which is
known as the
ultimately
Beast?
grant funded. It's, we're doing this as a cash flow issue.
Okay,
Yes,
Very
that
good.
is the Beast.
the Beast, okay. Well, that's good news. Good. Anything else, Mark?
No, that's all I have.
Very good. Moving on to citizens to be heard. Any citizens to be heard? Okay. Is there a motion for adjournment?
Well, Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
can I make one quick announcement for, I guess, if any of our friends in the media who are in attendance or watching remotely, if we could help spread the word about the Millcreek Township Small Business Relief Loan Program. That program is still accepting applications until the end of the day this Friday, February 12th. Any small business interested in applying can apply at ecrda.net, the Erie County Redevelopment Authority website. And again, applications deadline is this Friday, February 12th.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Anything else from the board?
No, sir.
Okay, is there a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion for adjournment.
I'll second.
Yeah, it's been moved and seconded. Our meeting is concluded here at 10:11. Thank you, everybody.